So a couple of months ago, we took Legally Clueless on tour across Kenya, and I think I caught a bit of the traveling bug.
Une journée froide d'automne à 7h23 exactement, Monsieur Whiskas est assis sous le toit, en attendant patiemment le retour de son amante. Elle ne revient jamais. En même temps, deux cygnes nagent le long de la Seine sans jamais se quitter. Pas trop loin d'eux, Adèle, prête à voir s'il est vraiment possible de tomber amoureuse de Paris. Ça va être une longue journée alors. Fin de naviguer dans les rues de Paris, Adèle prépare l'essentiel. 1. Une liste de courses. Je veux dire une liste d'endroits à voir. 2. Chaussures confortables. 3. Une manie de s'intégrer. Trop. Ah oui, bon. 4. Des billets de métro, une boisson, des cadenas et des feutres. Et enfin, un sens de l'aventure.
I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. So I think I've seen the Eiffel Tower from like all angles, ground level, almost middle angle, sideways, and first I can't get over how beautifully big it is. I'm staring at it right now. And I still feel like with every angle, there's still so much more to see, which is quite magical if you think about it. But when you come to Paris, that's the first thing that you have to do. And the second thing is you have to eat. Not just anything, but crepes. Thank you. Ooh. Oh my goodness. Fluffy. And it like melts in your mouth. Is that normal? So in trying to get to know Paris a bit better, I've come to another one of her most spectacular views. It's mind-blowing and it's left me almost speechless, which not many things do, and it's Sacré-Cœur. It's a cathedral that was built by the people of France. They all contributed to its construction, and it's the second highest point in the city, second only to the Eiffel Tower. But to see more of the view, that comes at a price. I'm ready. I don't know if these stairs are ready for me. It's 292 steps, but I've been taking exercise classes. I think I'm ready for this, honestly. This is not going to be very hard. Like, just pace yourself. This angle is not fun. Coming back down, is there a lift? What if I fall backwards? Out of exhaustion. Okay, just wait. It's the mask. Oh my Jesus. I can't believe I have to go back down. My thighs are on fire. Why are there more stairs? Okay. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. This view had better be worth it. Because maybe it's a mask. I'm normally fitter than this. Okay, it's gorgeous. Okay, even though my thighs are on fire and I'm dreading the 292 steps down, this view is giving. It's giving what it's supposed to be giving, and I am receiving it all. It's so beautiful. It really is just like, it looks almost like it's not real. Like it was not painted, but like this can't be real. But it is, because we were right there earlier. It's giving. So we've experienced the food, we've experienced the most magical views, the most magical architecture. All these things can inspire and birth the best of art, which is no surprise why everywhere you go in Paris, there'll be like little bits of art here and there, and it seems to be very appreciated. So it only makes sense that the next place we go is one of the many hubs of art here in Paris. Oh my goodness. Like people are painting in. What is happening here? It's so beautiful.
You parle français?
No, English.
It's oil and palette knife.
Wow.
Don't use a brush.
Oh, this is your art?
Yes.
Oh, it is so beautiful. And like the texture. Is this where we... This is where we are. Like this is... That. Isn't it? Yeah. That's there. How does art just like bleed so effortlessly from people? Like it's just like how you know how to walk and how you know how to talk. They're just like, And they're so nice and humble about it. If I could paint like this, I don't think I'd be untouchable. Like I want them all, even the like really big ones. Okay. I look that way. This is so exciting.
Just a bit this way. Slowly, 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 a bit on that. Stop, stop. Still.
There?
Yes.
Okay.
Where are you from, madam?
I'm from Kenya.
Kenya?
Yes, that's in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah. Very far.
Is it your first trip in France?
Yeah, this is my first time in France and I don't want to leave.
You want to stay here?
I want to stay. I'm so sad I'm leaving soon. So excited to see it. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my goodness. Oh, it's so beautiful. You got my earrings and my... Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh, even my piercing. It's so beautiful.
Like it?
I love it. Thank you so much. How did you do that in such a short time? Oh, so good.
I'm born in the west of France.
Okay.
I came to Paris when I was 19 years old to study art. I did two schools of art, a private school at Saint-Germain-des-Prés in the center of Paris,
Yeah.
and a national school of art.
Wow.
And I've learned industrial design.
Yeah.
That's why I like the things we look simple.
You got my nose right as well.
You get a small nose,
Yes.
a small nose, beautiful small nose.
Cute. You got the nose.
Salt?
Yes, salt. Do you have salt?
Oui, sure.
What about chili?
No pas chili.
No chili.
No.
So, thank you.
Thank you, madam.
It's so hot. I never thought I'd get my ndichomai in Paris from Ajiko. This is wild.
I've decided to catch the Paris sunset with Amina, a lovely Moroccan lady who lives here, and as we enjoy the view, I'll get to know more about her experience in Paris.
I moved to France when I was 17 on August 23rd, 2013, exactly. And I moved to France for school, for university, but I actually went to French school in Morocco my entire life. So I've been living in a mini France inside of Morocco my whole life. So I moved to the south of France in the beginning, so I didn't move to Paris. I moved to like the smallest town ever called Menton. It's on the Italian coast, like on the Italian border of France, and it's like so beautiful and gorgeous and so small, but it was just nothing like what I'm used to. Nothing. First of all, everyone was so old. It's literally the oldest city in terms of age in the entirety of France, and I was 17 and looking around like, how is everyone actually like retired here? Like how? And the huge culture shock was that I had thought of myself as like part of France my entire life because I went to French school. I knew French culture by like the back of my hand, but I was literally seen like minority. And you could feel it because the first question people ask you is where you're from. And that is such an exclusion question, you know? They exclude you immediately. They're not going to think that you're from there or that you could be part of their community, because the second they look at you, they're like, where are you from? And you're like, why? They're like, no, because you're not from here. And you're like, I could be. And that was kind of the first shock. And then the second shock was, so when you're not French, you have to get a residence pass to live here, and you have to go ask for it at like a police board. So like the first people you meet in terms of administration here in France are the cops, which isn't fun. And I speak perfect French. I've always spoke perfect French. It's my second language. And the lady that welcomed me started speaking to me like this and like articulating every word like I couldn't understand. And that was really frustrating because like I looked at her like, I speak French, lady. Like, it's fine. You're gonna be fine. And yeah, no, people just, like, preconceived idea is you're not part of us. And that was not nice. There were 2 times where I actually really decided to go home. One time I actually packed. Like, I completely, fully packed all of my stuff. I called my mom and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It was just a feeling of loneliness, you know? Like, you're surrounded with friends and that's nice. You're, like, going to school and that's different, that's nice. But you miss the sense of family. There was no one around me that spoke my Arabic, that spoke my home language, that really understood what I was going through or missing, and I felt really lonely. And I started feeling like no matter what I did, it would never be home. Thankfully now it's 8 years later and it's completely home to me. Like Paris is totally home and I would not leave it for anything in the world right now. But at that time I was like, there's no way you're gonna fit in ever. And that was quite painful. And the second time was, I was really thinking that I was wasting my time being here where I could serve my country better. And that it was kind of selfish of me to be here and just like live my best life, drink wine in nice bars and just be cool, where my country actually needed help and my country actually needed people to kind of commit to it and be part of the political scene and just speak for the people. And I was kind of frustrated with myself. So like I called my mom and I was like, if I go home right now, will it serve anyone? If I like actually engage in politics, will it serve anyone? And she said no. I said, no, there's no room for you right now. There will be one day, and I hope that you come back. But for now, this is saturated. Nobody's having like a sane conversation. We were going through like huge political turmoil. The Islamists had just won the elections. I was really frustrated and scared for that country. And yeah, that was the second time. The idea of moving back is a really complicated conversation for a lot of us. Like I'm not the only one, because at once you're like, I've built an entire life here and I have perspectives here and I can build a world of my own here. And at the same time, you're like, yeah, but there's still home and home is still waiting for me. My parents are still there. My family's still there. I still have like some sort of responsibility to my country that I should be upholding. But I'm not sure that the life that I want to lead as a person, as a girl, as a human being, is a life that I could lead there, if I'm making sense. I've come to understand a certain sense of independence and liberty here, where I can clearly do whatever the hell I want. And I'm not sure I can do that in Morocco, not because it's like a repressive country in any way. We have freedom and everything. It's just that there's so much more social pressure, and there's so much more family pressure, and there's so much more community pressure. Because compared to European mindsets, we live in Morocco at least as communities. We live as a group, you know. And the group set and the group mind kind of really frustrates and suffocates me. And so I'm really thinking about it. But at the same time, you're like, and this is like one of the toughest conversations you're ever gonna have with people who have decided to move out of their country and are kind of thinking about what that would entail. Do I want my children to be born here? Do I want them to be born a minority? Do I want them to go through that trauma? Because let's not forget, this country is racist. This country has a lot of racist talk and xenophobic talk. This country doesn't like black people. It doesn't like brown people. It doesn't like Arabs. It doesn't like Muslims. It keeps on telling it in the media. Do I want to like bring my children in a world that doesn't really appreciate them? And that's a really tough conversation, because I wasn't born a minority technically. I was born in my majority country. I've never experienced any type of like rejection, besides being a female, of course. But I've never experienced a type of rejection based on my ethnicity until I came here. And I understand the violence of that. And I don't think I want my children to be born somewhere like that. So go, stay, I don't know. If we could, I would do like 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there, but my carbon imprint would be horrible. I think there's a sense of culture here that I really love. I'm obsessed with French literature. I'm obsessed with French culture in so many ways. It's so rich. They've managed to upkeep and preserve and just cherish their history, like their millennial history so much, and that I'm so admirative, you know? Like in my country, we still have some monuments, but most of it is gone. So we don't even have proof of our greatness. They're reminded of their own greatness every day. I mean, you walk around Paris and this city is mind-blowing. And the other thing that I really, really love about this city is that everyone gets to be themselves. Everyone has room for themselves. And we might look at it as like a cold city or like a city where people are rude. People are rude. People are hella rude. But it's because they get to be themselves. They have nothing to prove to you or anybody else. And you could be anyone, truly anyone. That might not be true for the rest of France, and I'm sure it's not. But here you could be truly anyone. And there's a sense of relief to know that nobody cares, you know? Just be you. Be you, be happy, enjoy your time, pay too much for a cocktail and be there. And I think I love that the most about this place.
So after taking on the Sacré-Cœur stairs, I proved that I can see what more Paris has to offer. And that's the clue of where I'm going to next. So we're at one of the most famous windmills in the world, the Moulin Rouge, which was formed in 1889 to bring a real diverse entertainment to the area, and at the time was known for popularizing the French can-can dancing. But what's really awesome when I say diverse, it ranged from the audience jumping on stage with the performers to the performers jumping out of cakes. So honestly, when you come to Paris, this is a place that you have to stop and visit.
Even though I've had a full day exploring Paris, I had to make time to catch up with my long-lost friend Lucille, an amazing Kenyan lady living right here in Paris.
So hi, my name is Lucille. I am from Nairobi. I came to Paris in 2014, at the end of 2014, to study an MBA, and I've just never left. So I think when I first arrived, I had been studying like French in high school and just a bit in university, so I thought I could get around. I thought, oh, I got this. I was humbled when I arrived. I knew nothing, and you know your brain, I had lived in Australia before, so you're just used to seeing signs in English. But then I got here and everything, and I mean literally everything is in French, from the signs at the airport to, you know, getting your taxi. Your cab driver doesn't speak any, usually they speak French, but the one cab driver I had didn't speak French. Thankfully, he was kind enough to like even carry my bags into the hostel I had for a few days. But my brain could not adjust to the lack of English words. I was very confused and disoriented for a week, but in a good way. It was exciting. You're like, oh, finally, I'm in Paris, you know? It was humbling. My first 2 weeks were very humbling, yeah. I want to say when my big human connection moment, when I'm like, okay, you know, because there's the perception that the French are just very mean. And when I arrived, you know, all of like 52 kilos with 2 big bags, trying not to spend money. So I'm just carrying my bags in the metro, taking one up, praying nobody steals my bag, taking the other up. And everybody was just helping me. So I decided I was moving from the hostel to my apartment. And the strangers offering to help me, I'm lost. I think you're in the wrong direction, go the other way. And then when I finally got to my building, I was on the 6th floor with no elevator. And luckily for me that day, there were workers, I guess, doing some, what they call travaux, like public works. And they just carried my bags up for me. And they said, are you good? Do you want me to put you in? I said, thanks. I guess that's what they were saying because it was all in French. I'm like, okay, thanks. And that was my big human connection moment. Even though I never saw these people again, I just thought, you know what? People are nice. So yeah, I just thought people were very nice. And I also had a very good experience with the cops here. I'm yet to have a bad experience with the cops. I know people have different experiences with them, but they've all been very overly kind, I think. I mean, whenever I've had issues, so it's one of those things that at least gives me some hope for humanity. But I mean, I also have other moments where I'm just like, I need to go back home. Let's see, what reminds me of home here? I'll say people's attitude towards a meal, with the exception of breakfast. The French don't eat breakfast. They smoke and they have coffee, and then it's like, ooh, balanced diet. You know, and me, I'm like, where's the uji? Where's the mandasi? I'm so hungry. But so I would say what reminds me of home. So my mom has always done Sunday lunch. So regardless of where you are in your life, my siblings would all come home, friends invited, but the rule is you're home for lunch. And meals here on a Sunday are kind of the same thing, and I've kind of forced my friends into this life of mine of, no, Sunday we sit down, we eat, we talk, no phones, just having a good time. The food might be a bit different, but the attitude towards food, these guys, I think they love food as much as we do. Call it, bon bouffe, like eating well, bon buffet, pardon, is it's the idea of just eating well and sitting and like, let's have the idea of how long they take around a meal. They're not in a rush, American style. They don't eat at their desk. Lunchtime, that's a big crime. In fact, you will offend your workmates if they see you eating at your desk. Like, why are you eating at your desk? We are going for lunch. And that's why tidbits you will never find if you call friends at lunchtime. Call them after lunch. You will not find anyone on the phone. And I like the attitude around food because it's something that reminds me of home a lot. My mom, our meals were very individual based during the week, but Sunday, because everyone was working, you have a life. But Sunday, it was, you stop after church, or if you were hungover, but you have to come for Sunday lunch, and it's just everything that you want to eat. And then after that, you take a little nap, and I like the attitude around food. Yeah, although the food is very different. That's another thing. So I think what I love about Paris is how accessible everything is. If I need to do something, I don't have to make a plan with someone. I can just do it on my own, and it's a good way to just discover yourself, discover the city. Just go online. There's always something to do. You don't need a car. You have your Metro card. You're fine. You can figure out how to get home at night at 2:00 in the morning. Without worrying about, I mean, it depends on where you are, which part of town you're in, but I'm not afraid of, being followed back home and, having to be on a whistle. I've stuck at home many a time at 4 a.m. And my mom would be like, but you're not scared. I'm like, it's okay. These are my people. What are they going to do to me, But yeah, so I want to say, safer as walking alone as a woman here, which it was never a thing I felt in Nairobi. Sadly to say, I could not even dare wear what I wanted. I'm not a provocative dresser, but it's just the top of my mind. I know there's no way I'm wearing anything above my knee. I'm a stick. I'm not like curvaceous, but I can wear what I want here within a reasonable limit and still feel safe walking home at like 3 a.m, without it being an issue. But those are the things that made me fall in love, where you have sort of like safety around you and you can explore things without worrying, okay, like how am I getting home? Who's going to be my chaperone? I'm an adult. Why am I worried about being chaperoned by a dude to be safe at night? Like, it's very... I'm not saying it's super safe, but that's what made me just think, I like my life here. I don't want to be the whole, okay, call who when you're coming home to open for you the gate, I'm at the gate, stories. It just makes me anxious. I can't handle that.
After a full day of getting to know her a bit better, I still feel like Paris has a lot more magic to share with me. I'm not here yet.
J'ai commencé le livre par la fin. J'ai le menton haut pour un rien. Mon œil qui pleure, c'est à cause du vent.
Okay, so to fall in love with a person or a thing or a place, you've got to see it from many different angles and views. And I think before this moment, I had only seen pictures of the Eiffel Tower during the day. Even being in Paris, I've only been passing it during the day until we braved those stairs and this cold to see it in a way that I've never ever seen it before. But it's probably the most beautiful view of the Eiffel Tower ever. In the night, with all its lights on, in all its glory. And I think this is like the icing on top of the cake that's making me fall deeper in love with Paris.
Ils arrivent, le ventre lourd de fruits, les bateaux. Ils viennent du bout du monde, apportant avec eux des idées vagabondes, reflets de ciel bleu, de mirages. Traînant à pas près de pays inconnus, des terres des étés, on en vit presque nus. Sur les plages, moi qui n'ai connu toute ma vie que le ciel du Nord. J'aimerais dépapouiller ce cri environ de pas. Emmenez-moi au bout de la terre, emmenez-moi au pays de la vie. Il me semble que la misère serait moins pénible au soleil et dans les bars.
So this was my first time in Paris, and I have to say that I'm leaving feeling very expanded and full when it comes to the memories and the moments I've created here. First with the different people I've met, just having real kind interactions with people who don't care where you're from, don't care who you are, don't care, they're not looking to gain something from you, they're just being kind to you for being kind's sake. And that's really magical, and I've had so many moments like that during my stay here. I've also really enjoyed that there's an intentional love for art and artistry. Like, you will see it in every corner you take. There'll be either a small art piece on a building or an actual artist painting on the side of the road. Like, there is an appreciation for art that is very intentional that I really feel drawn to. And then I think it's just so magical, like these places and actual, you know, historical sites that I would see from childhood on TV and shows and whatever. Like, to get to see them up front is just so wild, you know? And so that has been one of those moments that I don't think I'll forget for the rest of my life. And so I think it's safe to say that I've really fallen in love with Paris. I've fallen in love with her people, with her views, her artistry, art and artists, with her sunsets. And in true cliche love story fashion, this is not a goodbye, this is a see you soon.
Emmenez-moi au bout de la terre, emmenez-moi au pays des merveilles. Il me semble que la misère serait moins pénible au soleil.
Are you good? It's like a missing piece of the jigsaw puzzle. No, it is going so well. And I think I caught a bit of the traveling bag. I have to do it again. Wow, that pigeon almost flew in my face. They need a lift. But this view is beautiful. But they need a lift. Because either that or like, do they have rooms up here? Because how am I climbing back down? Not with these guys.